Hitler, the person who started Second World War. When we hear these kind of statements, we make up a bad thinking about the person Adolf Hitler. But actually, it was not like that. He was a great person for Germany, but to extend the boundaries of Germany, the Second World War had started. Hello everyone, it's me Medavi Vusal and welcome back to my channel. I have finished reading yet another book and the name of the book is The Definite Biography of Adolf Hitler, written by the writer John Toland. Now, listening to the name, we will think that this book has all the details about Hitler's life and why did he die, how was his childhood spent, who was his mother, who was his father, who was his siblings, etc. And his revolutionary part when he became the leader of Germany. John Toland has written in such a specific way that even person with little knowledge about Adolf Hitler can understand whole things about his biography. Now, let me concentrate a little on Hitler's childhood. He was born as the son of Clara and Alois Hitler. He had many siblings because his father had married three women. His father was a harsh kind of man. His father had run away from home when his father was small, and his one sibling named Alois Hitler Jr. had also done the same. But let me concentrate on his childhood. His childhood was hard because they had to shift from Austria to Germany because of his father's work. It was really difficult for him to adjust, but slowly he started to develop a pride for his nation, Germany. Although he was born in Austria, he had a kind of warm sensation for his true nation, Germany, and he really wanted to do something. Whenever he made small to big mistakes, his father used to beat him with a whip made out of hippopotamus leather, and that was also hard. I don't know how it made the mental state of Hitler, but one time he decided not to cry ever again, because in a detective novel book it was written that not crying was also a part of courageous and effectiveness for the body, and he wanted to apply that. One time and a few days later he got to experience that. His father blew him with his whip. His father beat him severely, but he did not shed a tear. After that, his father stopped beating him. Now, it is study too. At first, he was a good child, a bright child, but slowly he started to deteriorate. He is one of the best examples that only course books and course study is not everything, and extra books and extra study is also necessary. The boy who had nothing in course and was deteriorating, who knew that his about him would be written in the golden pages of history. We cannot think like that, but we actually should. We should know the real talent inside people. That was how his childhood was spent. He had a really normal kind of childhood, but his father used to beat him, and when his father died, he did not shed a tear, but slowly he was an architecture student first, and slowly he started gradually developing in his love for art and architecture. He went to Vienna for study, which is also the capital of Austria, and he studied about arts and architecture there. But after returning to Germany, he had his arts and his kind of talent inside, but he wanted to enter politics. Now, what happened? Why did he wanted to enter politics? Let me tell you. One time when he was going on a train, a toxic bomb named mustard bomb was thrown into his compartment by some Jews and some criminals. They had planned together to terrorize the government and the people. Hitler was in that compartment coming from train, and his face and his teammates' faces were swollen, and many of them died inside. But because the crime were high, the plantation of bombs and toxic gases were high. Everybody was not allowed without a mask inside anywhere and anything, just like in our COVID time. Luckily he had a mask, and he realized that soon enough. He put on a mask, and it did not allow him to further severely damage his body by the gas, but his eyes were severely affected, and he had a kind of blindness. And when they were rushed to the hospital, he had a really hard time in the drain. When they were rushed to the hospital, he could not see anything, but that was a normal symptom of the gas, and he suffered from depression too. That was also another normal symptom, and he promised himself to his body that if he recovered from this blindness, he would leave the arts and architecture and enter into the politics of Germany. But then he got recovered fully, and that is how about him was written in the golden pages of history, like I have said earlier. Then he started to be a leader for Germany, because Germany had lost the First World War, and he wanted to do something so that Germany's self-esteem would boost up to a level that the world would be bowing down to Germany. I mean, that thought was right. It was really good for Germany, but the other countries which were high at the time, such as America, Russia, they did not apply the same methods with Hitler, and their talks were not that similar. Their talks were not same, and they basically did not like each other. Now, after Adolf Hitler became the chancellor, the Führer, which is said in Germany, he started to do developments. He visited schools, made hospitals, basically every economic development for progress of Germany. Then he started invading the countries such as Poland, Holland, Luxembourg, Belgium, etc. And Germany's boundaries started to overlapping due to different countries. The countries which he had captured were now in the borders of Germany, and in each country he captured, he had a headquarters so that he can absorb the neighboring countries of the countries that he had captured, so that he can capture the other countries too. He was in a straightforward like a horse, and he basically wanted the most development for the Germany. And then the war started. He wanted to capture the Great Britain, which was also a great country, a powerful country at that time, but he did not become successful. But he captured France, but did not capture England and America, Russia, and the Soviet Union, because they were really powerful countries, and Germany at that time was just a small country compared to the other countries, and there was not peace like that. A country would capture another country if its status was weak, and if the country's status was strong, it would capture the other country. It was like that, and that's how basically the Second World War started. The war started to happen, and countries in opposing of Hitler, they grumbled up together and attacked Germany, and Germany's countries such as Italy, etc., supported Germany, and that's basically how the Second World War started. It's like because of egoism. Because if one country is dominated by the other, then basically that is not a good thing, and there is a kind of ego in the persons. He was a good friend of Mussolini too, which was the leader of Italy at the time. He had done many struggles and sacrifices for Italy, and their talks were kind of similar, kind of same, so they started to help each other. Germany had Italy, Italy had Germany, and that's how things were between. Mussolini was a really close friend of Hitler. But slowly he started to lose the Second World War. But I have to say, Hitler is a really lucky person. He has survived several bomb attacks. For example, one time while he was going a speech, while he was giving a speech, I don't know what happened inside him. He said that he wanted to leave early. He made his conclusions in the clear. The bomb was to be blasted at 11:20, and he started saying it. He ended his speech at 11:07 while giving the speech. And then his habit was that he would discuss with fellow comrades what to do with the country or what to do with the nation, how to expand his border even more, how to win in the war, and things like that. But that day he just didn't want to, and he left for the train to Munich, which is also a place in Germany which he really liked. And suddenly the bomb exploded. He was already on his train, and Hitler was safe. That's how many kinds of things that he has escaped. He has escaped a landmine while in the army in the World War I. He has escaped a landmine in which destroyed all his teammates, all his crewmates, everything, but he was saved. One time there was a bomb explosion. His pants were tattered and pattered, but it really wasn't his fault. The bomb had exploded, but he wasn't hurt, and there was only some lacerations in the body, no internal bleeding, no internal organs hurt, and that is how lucky he was. It was like his life was born. He was born to write in the pages of history, because he was the creator and the starting of the Second World War. But slowly he started to have deteriorating in health. His mind started to become really deteriorating because of he had to learn about all the political issues and all the economic development of Germany as well as the war, and he started to have panic attacks, anxiety attacks, going into depressions. Sometimes he just wanted to kill himself. Those were the problems, and slowly he started losing the Second World War. Russia started capturing Germany and started freeing the countries such as Poland, Holland, Luxembourg, Belgium, etc. And after the freement, the Germany was again a small country. Then Russia in the leadership of Stalin. Leader Stalin captured the Germany, and it was like Hitler didn't really want the enemy to know that he was dead or alive. So his wife's name was Eva Braun. And they hadn't made a marriage certificate because Hitler needed the votes of the woman too. And they made the marriage certificate a few days before the death because they hadn't made, and they were like hopeless. But slowly hope started to rise up in them. Russia was being defeated, but again Russia started defeating Germany, and when he completely defeated Germany, Hitler wanted to kill himself, and Eva said that she will be killed. Eva ate a poisonous tablet, and that's how she died at 3:30 p.m. on the date they died. And then Hitler took a revolver, placed it on his right temple, and killed himself. But the party's members, they didn't want Hitler's body to be found because Hitler had said that he wouldn't want to be the enemies even though he was alive or the dead. So they filled their bodies up with gasoline, both Eva's and Hitler's body, and burned them up. That is how the end of Second World War happened, and that is why Hitler and Eva committed suicide. Now, after hearing this book, if you have this book, then please read it, and if you haven't, then I would really want you to understand about the Second World War and about Hitler's life. And hearing this speech, maybe you think that Hitler wasn't that bad of a person. He had a great sense of humor. He was a really deep friendship with his party members, etc. Now, you might think that Hitler was a really cruel person. He killed the Jews. Yes, he did kill the Jews in the Germany. He put them into poisonous chambers, gas chambers, and killed them. And also, he killed the Jews on the concentration camps. But slowly, that also stopped when he died. Russia rescued the Jews which were alive and found out the bodies of the Jews which were basically burned or they had decayed and etc. They didn't find Hitler's body because it was already burned, but they had found burned ashes which they thought was Hitler's. And after proving that it was Hitler's, they made a tomb in which Hitler had his things were done. Now, as a conclusion, I would like to say Hitler wasn't that bad of a person that we think, but he was really cruel for Germany. But his development space was so high that none of the leaders in many other countries have made success like that. In my opinion, maybe they have, maybe they haven't, but each and every country needs a developing leader like Hitler, not a cruel one like him, not the other side, but the developing side of Hitler will be needed for all the developing countries that are all over the world. As a conclusion, I have made this, and I would like you to read this book to understand the Second World War completely, as I have said earlier. Now, this is the biography of Hitler, and as I said, Hitler was not that much bad person as we think he is. He had a really harsh childhood. We have to understand that too. Now, when we say that Russia has completely destroyed and Hitler died because of the Russia's leader Stalin, because he didn't want his body, but he was really a successful leader for Germany, as I said earlier, and he was a really good leader for Germany. Now, for the understanding of Hitler's full biography, his own biography named Mein Kampf is there too. You can read it, you can buy that, you can read it too. And Hitler's personal opinions will be written there, except other writers. His Mein Kampf, the book named Mein Kampf, will be more appropriate for us to read, because in there are his true opinions. And saying this, I would like to end my review here. Thank you.